numbers.
Then maybe we're live, Clint.
My phone says 12:01, so we're going to call that a win.
Oh no, I'm late.
About that, Lindsay. About that.
Sorry, I was talking to Jose Angelface.
Okay, well, then let's let Lindsay join us, and then we can get started with this mess.
Hey, can I have this?
Sure.
Some of it?
Yes.
Thanks.
We're live.
Oh.
You can still have some of it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, goodness. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Friday Live. This thing we do at noon on Fridays. Welcome to this.
This thing we're doing.
Yes, we are
The thing we can't name.
Get your Elton John on. You're good. I'm not really sure. I was signed out of this thing, so I only see 2 viewers. So there's a chance that we are not connected to all the things because it was weird there for a second.
Where do you want me to check? What page?
I guess Princess Craft.
Okay.
So, how are you doing? Who's watching? Who's online with us?
Who's on first?
Where are you from?
That's who is not on first. And I can actually check right here. So, we were thinking that we would talk about something along the lines of
Yeah, we're here.
camping things that people do lately that may or may not be such a good idea. Right?
Yeah, there's trends that people do, and now that there's newbies,
A whole bunch of newbies.
it has blown up of what's okay, basically for campsites, for nature,
Yeah.
for all of us to do out there, and what's not. And we're thinking along the lines of, well, we'll go through some of the things. The
Yep.
first thing we thought about was rock stacking.
So, and here's just
Yeah,
from a
we
global...
need like a, what do you call it? The thing that, like, a warning
Ground
in the
rules?
beginning. Yeah, like we know that some of these things can become heated discussions. So
And you can go too far either way. We are
Yes.
more in the center of the
And-
discussions.
Okay, so guys, how do you talk about something controversial and not take a stand so you don't get in
whoa,
trouble?
I have a stance on all
that
of
worth
these
doing?
things. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying,
No?
for the sake of, like, the live feed, we mean it as, like, a discussion
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
why these things
And
are
let me just
controversial
say,
or why they're okay.
Until I put in some more thought or had discussions, I would have been on the wrong side of pretty much all of these. Easily. I guarantee you, whether I did these activities or not, I easily would have been like, hey, yeah, I'm jumping in and doing it.
Why? Because you just didn't, like, know enough about the other side?
I
of
just
the
wouldn't have thought
argument?
about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, take the first one.
let's start
Okay.
with something
Here's
instead of
the
these.
easiest example.
Okay,
Right?
I think so.
So how do you say this word?
Cairns?
Cairns?
It's Cairns? Cairns?
Cairns?
I think it's called Cairns.
Karens.
Which makes perfect sense because people are complaining about it and want to talk
we
to the
hate
manager.
Karens.
Okay, so Cairns, what is it? It is rock stacking, which is a big thing as of late. The past few years, you go to any place that has pebbles or rocks or any stream, you can find rock
Stones.
stacks. Stones. If you find stoners, stack them. They like it.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No.
Oh. So here's the deal, is that it's cheap fun, it's easy fun, it's relaxing fun, it's something that engages your mind. There's all kinds of things that, I mean, it's like natural Legos. I would totally
yeah.
rock stack.
And I definitely have. And, like, from an outsider, like, just, this is a fun thing to do. It's like, how could this hurt anything?
Yeah.
We're taking rocks from right here, and we're, like, moving it to right here.
You feel like you're doing something. It's connection to nature. It's great. It's a thing kids just naturally do.
Right.
And when we're out having fun, we're hopefully being... PG, you need to scooch up. You're out of focus. I don't know. You should be the one in focus because you're in the center of the screen.
Is that better?
Oh, man. I put it on the screen for you. I might actually be able to fix the focus, so I'll leave the screen. But anyways,
TJ, you're just white.
so
I know.
carry on. No, it's that monitor. It's not so bad.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm so pasty.
So here's the deal. I easily would have done rock stacking. I would have been in the bad category. But why is rock stacking frowned upon?
Well,
Well,
well.
you'd say well. Explain the well. I'm going to see if I can fix the focus.
Okay. Oh no, I don't actually know.
Read the paper.
Okay, I mean, okay. So, the way that I understand it, rock stacking or cairns are used or were used to show like where to go, like as a navigation tool. Correct?
I think it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
one option.
It has
At
been.
one point. So, that's one way it doesn't work because if you do rock stacks, then it can be confusing which ones are
Directional and which ones.
correct.
But I think more than that. I mean, you are taking rocks and stacking them up, and then you get less rocks on the ground. You get people trampling around in the mud because they picked up all the rocks. The water can flow differently. I mean,
Erosion
the
can become an
rain
issue.
is going to take the dirt that was nicely packed underneath those rocks and pull it into the river. I mean,
You're
it
probably-
just changes the landscape.
You're without notice. You're evicting some bugs that have a home there underneath those rocks.
And I mean, that's kind of hard to lean into when you've got an entire riverbed and there is like thousands of rocks for miles. You're like, what difference does these 10 rocks make?
Well, and this goes to my upbringing. I would get in big trouble for throwing rocks in ponds.
Yes.
And you know, I love skipping stones.
You're pretty good at it,
And
too.
I would get in so much trouble for
You
that.
are a master skipper.
Why? Because you're displacing like the rock and like
There's that, but usually if it's a pond, it was a pond that my family used for livestock, and I was basically filling up a
Filling up
pond
the pond with rocks.
with rocks and you know, so they
Rocks that they pulled out so they could have a pond.
so that they could make the pond. And I think like you were saying, you know, how is it going to hurt 10 rocks like moving from here to there? But I think the problem is when it was something that like people did here and there occasionally, it wasn't a big deal, but
If
it
100
became
people do it,
really
Right.
popular, and now it's not 10 rocks moving a foot. It's people going and searching for certain types of rocks and making huge rock. I mean, there's like rock stacking contests
Right.
and competitions,
yeah.
and like if everybody who hikes this trail makes a rock stack, that's a lot of rocks.
well, and that's why people stop and make a rock stack a lot of times is because there's a whole bunch there, and you're like,
You
I'll
wanna
leave
add to it.
my mark,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll see.
Yeah.
I can maybe do one that's super cool. So it's a.
I
it's
think
a
this is very
joining
much
in.
Yeah, it's a community thing, but I think it's a social media driven
Oh,
phenomenon
yeah.
as well. And I think most of these actually have some aspect of that social media has actually brought out not only more people to the outdoors activities, but it's also brought out this little, hey, me too. I also went to a place and also did a thing, and here's my deal. And quite
Yes.
frankly, there's some pretty stunning rock stacking photos out there on social media
At
that
the same,
inspired this nefarious activity.
but at the
Nefarious.
same time, whoa, big words, big words, Clint. At the same time, you remember the pictures we have of rock stacking when we took a trip to Washington, and you were like 7. I don't know, you were
Sure.
6 or 7. You were
I
young.
don't think she remembers them.
Yeah, she
I
didn't know
don't.
how old she was.
I know the picture though.
7 was a very
Yeah.
No, I
But
had
we're
the
hiking.
atrocious haircut,
Yes.
which means I was at least in 5th grade, which means I was.
That was 5th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I still have some pain, but I'll get over it. So 10? Anyway.
But we were hiking, and of course we came upon a river where there was, you know, tons
This
of
is my cup.
rock stacking.
Well, it's my cup, but it's not my yellow cup.
Yes, that's
Sorry.
true. But is it your coffee in it?
It's my coffee, it's my cup, it's not my yellow cup.
Okay.
Y'all have just talk amongst yourselves. I have to have
Okay.
a moment.
So, we stopped and had to do our rock stacks.
But
Why
did
we
we
have such a nerd?
But did we do rock stacks because there were other rock stacks?
Because there were other rock
Yeah.
stacks. Go stack some rocks.
It made me feel better.
No, don't stack some rocks. Okay, so
Okay, here's my question. What if you stack them and then you unstack them?
You got to put the rocks exactly back
So
yeah, that was my
probably
question.
doesn't-
If
at the
I
right
come,
angle.
if I come across like some rock stacks that other people have made, can I knock them down? Because I feel like
Should you
that would be
unstack
way
them?
more fun than stacking
But
rocks.
it also would change the flow of water if it's in a pond or a stream.
Because they wouldn't be sitting down holding the dirt down as much.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
We should
know.
move on from rock stacking.
Yeah.
Folks, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's
Or tell us why we should.
Yeah.
or do it and don't inspire others to do it somehow because it's so
Something-
fun.
Something. Okay, what about just picking up a rock and painting it?
Okay,
Really?
I mean, this is the classic thing that you do with kids. That you do as a kid. The grandmothers are like,
Oh,
let's go
yes.
paint rocks. It's an activity. You find rocks, you bring them back to the campground.
Girl Scouts
you-
started when? 1947 or
I
something?
I
and they've
remember
been
the
painting
day.
rocks since
No, I don't.
then? No, you don't. Thank
I
goodness.
remember the day. I was just a little girl.
Just a hatchling. Yeah, so I get it. I mean, pet rocks turned into painted pet rocks. I mean, you know, whatnot.
Yeah. So,
Pet
is
rocks
that
are
so
not my
bad?
favorite. Well, again, you're removing some habitat and you're relocating some elements of habitat to where it might not naturally be found, and you're introducing paints, which is different chemicals, colors,
Oh,
and
and then it can-
smells to habitat.
And then if you leave it back on the ground and the water rushes over it, but I
I
mean,
mean,
I get that. I don't
And we
know.
all use lead paints.
Well,
No, we don't.
I think that these are things that I guess people can say, well, I grew up doing that, you know, well, this is what we've always done and it's been fine. But like, I guess you just have to pull back and understand the scope of like what it was like when you were growing up and what it's like now, especially when everybody wants to go camping and everybody
Well,
wants
yeah.
to go outdoors. And so like we have to have this like collectiveness of responsibility
Well,
because
yeah.
it's not like when you grew up anymore.
Well,
it's
think
just
the
not.
population itself has grown so much
Right.
over the past 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. I mean, significantly. And the percentage of people who are out in the natural spaces is actually increasing over the past 2 or 3 years as well, with a bunch of them being new to those activities,
Right.
but very involved in social media, which inspires. I'm not going to go
Nefarious
so
activity.
nefarious activity. I'm not going to go so far as to call it just bad behavior. It's just maybe
Questionable, controversial, yeah. That's
so
I'm not sure the word.
who paints rocks or stacks rocks? I mean,
my kids do,
who?
and I'm their parent.
Do you guys do it?
My
Do you
kids
feel
paint
like- is
rocks,
it bad?
but we don't go like hide them in nature for other people to find.
No.
My kids aren't that generous. They're like, this is mine now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it on my dresser forever.
So you are changing the field where you picked up the rock, but
I buy my rocks at Lowe's.
no, you do not. No, you do not.
No.
Okay, all right. So, and feel free to chime in. We're getting it's kind of quiet out there. I don't know if we're just not able to see comments again today, but it's pretty quiet out there. Let us know if you have done this, if you do this, or if you have feelings on it. What's the next thing on
tell
there?
us your feelings.
I'm gonna look and see if I'm not
See,
seeing
I'm
comments
singing
somewhere.
and you're not.
Feelings.
Wow.
Gathering. Ooh, somebody out there has an opinion on this one. I know they do. Gathering fallen firewood in a campground. Tell us your opinion on that. Yay? Nay? Why? Why not?
So I typically buy firewood on the way in. Mm-hmm. Either at a convenience store or at the whatever the station, the host or whatever. But I will admit, sometimes I find the kindling, the little pine needles, pine cones, little strips of bark that you find from someone else's stuff, but maybe just at the bottom of a tree. I sometimes still find kindling to start a fire.
What else are you supposed to do?
Well, I don't think any of that is terrible in a very small amount,
But there's a whole
If-
lot of people doing it.
if everybody goes to a campground and hikes around in the natural habitats to collect firewood and kindling, you're going to strip the ground bare pretty quickly.
And you're going to drive out
Pretty
the
quickly.
animals that make their homes there because they don't need that much human traffic from
Well,
every
they've already
camper.
got the
It'll be
human
like the
traffic.
Lorax all over again, y'all.
I don't know. I have a very strong opinion on this because we have all camped places that just have been stripped. I mean, you can't find a downed tree or a fallen branch anywhere, and
I don't
everything
camp the
is
places
trampled.
you do.
I mean,
guess.
yeah, there's places like
I
that.
am certain there are places like that. I don't camp those places. I don't want to be at a place like that. If I drive in a place like that, keep driving.
Well, I don't mean strip bare so that it's terrible, but you know that there's no sticks out there. And how do you have all of these trees with no sticks on the ground? How does that happen? Well, the only way it happens is people go around and pick up all the sticks.
So buy firewood. Yes, that's what I do. We will be using paper products to be used as kindling. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, sure. And,
Why not?
And so I like to lately is to take like old used toilet paper rolls and just pack my laundry lint in that. That thing lights and it lights.
Oh, wow. Never thought of that.
Yeah.
Laundry lint.
Yeah. So
You can use all kinds of stuff that I've
Sure.
seen lately, like the old egg carton containers, and then you fill it with like wax and pieces of.
Yeah, you
something.
can make fire starters with that.
or in a pinch, I just go to the academy and they have little stick or disc fire starters that work fantastically well. So
Yes.
those have been what I've been using for the past year or so, just because I have kids. I don't have time to be trying to light one the old-fashioned way, which I used to love doing, but not the
Not
same.
anymore.
So
Well, sometimes it's slightly damp or
Yeah.
it just takes a little extra effort, or you don't have that much kindling. So you need something to kind of spark it and get it going.
so Facebook user says, "Hi,
It's
Lindsay."
Tina.
Oh, it's Tina. Hi,
Hi, Tina.
You're
Hi,
probably
Tina.
on the community group page on Facebook.
Yes,
the,
she is.
The community group page doesn't allow us
I
to
got
see
it.
who's
But
who.
you know what, Tina? Your trailer's here. You already know that, but
Oh, I was
Cool.
saying, is she just finding out on our live?
no.
that's
No,
awesome
I
and a little
just
bit wrong.
know they've waited
Yes.
so long. So,
So long. Yes.
Okay, all right. So, what's next?
What about just the idea of going off the trail? I mean, some people really want to feel like an adventurer, so they take a trail for a ways and then just kind of say, let's just see what's back here.
Yeah, and again, I get the reasons why you would be drawn to this. There's something internal that says, yeah, trails, but what would it feel like? What would it be like to break my own trail? And that's a no-no most of the places that we can go.
Oh, gosh. Oh, too much coffee.
I was about to say I need more coffee.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
So,
there you are.
State
Hey,
parks,
hey.
national parks, preserves, wildlife, whatever, you name it. They have trails, and we're supposed to stay on them.
And they have signs that say stay on the trail, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people feel like trails are for sissies.
I mean,
Or
Real
everyone
men
else.
stay on trails.
Okay, well, just saying.
I agree with this, but I understand the internal motivation.
Yes.
In particular, with the four-wheel drive Jeeping overlanding Toyota Tacoma crowd.
Okay, you know who you are.
That's a crowd.
You know who we're talking to.
You have this rig that you've spent so much money adding to. The Jeep now costs twice what you would have paid for it originally. The Tacoma has all the upgrades. You have every single badge and sticker on it and a few accoutrements that you need to use. And how are you going to use them if you're on a trail that never gets you stuck?
That's boring.
No. So this is all the stuff is we have this mindset of we're not having the adventure unless we are really where no tires have been before, we think. but
Well-
it really screws up the environment when we leave the trail in our 4-wheel drive implements.
But to be fair,
Oh, we're gonna be fair now.
Yeah, I'm giving you a break because a lot of the Jeepers that I know, they go to places that are meant for Jeeping and rock crawling and off-trail riding. Now, that's not to say it doesn't cause any harm to the environment, but they have designated spaces to do that. So, it's when people do it when they're not really supposed to.
Do Jeepers follow rules though?
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Do you?
So
Yeah,
in some of the overlanding communities that I'm on Facebook, just because though I don't go overlanding, they're a fun crowd. They're super
Yeah.
fun, and they have really cool things to talk about, and I like stuff. But they really go after
Stuff and things.
stuff and things. They really go after people who post photos of leaving the trails or damage done by someone in the community. They really go after them. So it's starting to catch on that people are ruining it for not just wildlife, but for people.
But for other Jeepers.
For other
Yeah.
Jeepers. Because the overland community has actually lost a lot of once available space to them. Because
Why?
a few bad apples screwed up a few
Great places.
great places, and
Well,
you can
that's
tell that they did
unfortunate.
it because you got the tire tracks just doing donuts out there where they shouldn't be.
It's human nature. There's always going to be somebody who thinks the rules aren't for them.
Yep.
And rules like this, like staying on the trail, yeah, it's
Out there
it's
in your
not
Kia,
there because
donuts.
for any reason except for that, it takes care of the nature that we all can enjoy.
Yeah. Temporary fun is not worth the long-lasting damage that can be
Don't
done.
be an a-hole.
I mean,
Sorry.
it could be a shirt.
Could be.
Probably not an RV small talk shirt, but we can start another
Probably
business
not.
just for that. What's next? The same sort of thing. Breaking new ground for a campsite when you're dispersed camping.
Well, it just makes you feel like you're a rugged
A
outdoorsman.
pioneer.
And we're talking,
Yes.
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
go say, I want to go over there. Nobody's ever been over there. I'm going to go hide in the trees and make a new space.
This place looks untouched, So I think that's just one of those deals that if you're on BLM land, which we don't have much of in Texas, but elsewhere, Utah, Arizona, and something like that, it's still proper etiquette to find a place that's already been camped, that's vacant, but it's already been camped, and don't keep establishing new campsites. Because all we're doing is taking over more space. It could be left to nature. It could be left to animals. It's causing them to reroute their normal paths. They have to deal with more human smell and trash or what have you.
It is interesting. One of the things when COVID started, after about 6 months, they were saying that there was a lot more animals near the camping areas.
Sure.
And they were like happy and healthy and
It's weird, like how much can change
Quickly.
in such a little
So
amount of
short of a
time,
time.
in an environment that we really don't understand because we're not a part of. Like, we're not a squirrel, right?
well,
but we don't. Yeah, we didn't realize how fast that would happen. So I think that's really cool.
That's right. It is amazing to see the impact
We
that
don't
we have
need
on the
to go
environment.
the other way. If everyone leaves no trace, it always seems like you're the first. Let the next person feel like they're the first. Exactly.
Mike, that is such a good perspective.
If you go back to a campsite, like an off-grid campsite that's already been established, but the people before you did a
good
really
job.
good job cleaning up their fire pit, putting everything away, then there's no reason it feels any different than if you went, 50 yards that way and made camp.
There may be a bare spot on the ground where everybody has put their tent or their RV.
Perfect.
But-
You're welcome.
Yeah. Then you've got all of the nature around you. That is a very good point. That is the way to do off-grid camping.
Are there other
Wake up.
things that we can think
Sorry.
of, or are there other things that you who are with us today might think of as an activity that's pretty prominent right now that's
Yeah.
kind of questionable?
By the way, who's with us? Who can we
Mike,
see? Hi, Mike.
Dana,
Dana.
Dana's here. Hi,
Dana.
Dana.
Terry.
Dana's the one who...
makes amazing guacamole.
Really?
Ooh, Dana. That's...
No, Dana, you're the one who your wife fell out of the trailer
And she makes amazing guacamole.
and broke her leg?
And she makes amazing guacamole.
Okay, I didn't know. Also, amazing coffee cake. The coffee cake that morning was from Dana.
What? Why didn't I?
So good.
Why didn't I put
There was
guacamole
like a
in my coffee
layer
cake?
in the. Gross.
Because you're not that much of a squirrel.
Tina's watching. Jackie's watching. I don't know who else is watching because it only shows me who comments. So, comment.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So, what do you think?
Surgery next week. Oh.
Oh,
right.
no.
You two will be in our thoughts.
Oh.
We had
Keep us
some
posted.
people leave the
Absolutely.
rally because it was raining, and then we had some people
were like,
stay even after they broke their leg.
somewhat different philosophies of what's
I
worthwhile, of
thought
priorities.
it was so funny.
That's
And it's not
dedication.
funny at all,
It is
actually,
not funny.
but-
So sorry. And so glad you got to hang out with us a
So
little bit.
here's
true.
here's one kind of on the breaking new ground for a campsite. I've heard of this. I haven't done it, but on some public land and all that, I've heard of people who do break the first rule of breaking new ground. They set up a new campsite, but they don't just do that. They bring their battery powered lawn tools to clear the space. Have you heard this? They'll bring like a battery powered weed eater or something like that, and like just
yes.
knock down the tall grass. This is perfect. All it needs is a clean spot for
Oh.
my trailer.
Oh,
Why the?
do not.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
Yeah, they come in and it's just wild.
horrifying.
How we really feel like we need to bring our domestic home out to nature. We're missing. There's a disconnect there. You
Yeah,
know?
That is a type A
bizarre.
personality.
That seems like a
is
lot of
trying
work
to
too.
control it all. Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm
leaf
not
blowers.
working
I
that
have
hard.
seen leaf blowers where people bring their leaf blowers so they can just blow all the debris off their campsite so it's nice and clean.
There's that, but I think I see that more at RV parks. Have you seen it
Oh,
more
I've
at,
seen it
at
at-
state parks and whatnot?
Yes,
Oh, I've
yes.
just seen it at RV parks. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems so silly.
Well,
So, see?
Yes.
She did
Yes, we
wow.
did. We really like our food when people make us food.
yeah, because that's pretty much all we eat at the rally.
Whatever's
Is food
brought.
We
that
feed
you guys
ourselves.
make?
We feed ourselves very poorly at the rally.
Yeah,
Thank
there-
goodness for Paul.
Oh, he did make us
true.
breakfast, but
Yes.
The reason
guacamole
why-
is healthy, yo.
The reason why we ask for breakfast foods during coffee and desserts
'Cause we'll eat 'em all
Saturday
day
dinner
long.
is because like we need food for the next day.
It keeps us going.
Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Any closing thoughts from either of the two of you? I'll English later. This is not the time.
I mean, don't be an a-hole. It's really
Me specifically, or
No, in general,
in general.
camp.
I don't wanna.
Even
And
even
when
if
I
it's
think about you,
It makes me wanna.
Bart.
It's.
So-
I hope we
so much
never
fun.
part.
Now get it right,
or
pay the price.
We were
right.
children of the '90s.
Okay, all right, we're
if
done.
you guys don't know what they're regurgitating here, then
That was for you, Jackie.
it was good.
I hope you're still watching.
Just a few places to look. I'm gonna see if I can find my share screen here. Boop, share screen. Just a few things here. I can't see my tabs on that screen.
You got it. Oh.
Whoa, teeny tiny.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have the YouTube channel, as you know, and we have the RV Small Talk. Now, if you're from the truck camper rallies, we were there the past weekend. We have 2 episodes of the podcast out from the truck camper rally. Check them out. The one with the more rally attendee stories is number 87. So if you want to jump to stories, 87. The Tiny Trailer Rally
And
episode is
I
about
will-
to come out.
I will tell you, even if you don't know anything about truck campers, we caught some real characters.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah,
characters.
it's true. People, yeah.
And-
It's a fun episode.
Yeah, I I was there, and I actually listened to that episode just to see, because it was kind of wild. I just wanted to see what it turned out to be like, and I was rolling in the aisles all over again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if you're not a podcast listener, that one is just hilarious. What these camper people, their brains, it is too funny.
So again, that's show notes from the most recent releases. In fact, all releases of the podcast are at rvsmalltalk.com. Wherever you're watching, you already know about us, but do follow us on the Facebook page, RV Small Talk, or over on the community group, or Princess Craft, or if you haven't found us yet on YouTube, we do have a small but growing presence on YouTube. Go ahead and head over to YouTube and subscribe to the RV Small Talk channel. We would appreciate that.
Tina has a question real quick. When are we going to Pace Bend for boondocking? So last year we did like a small group, and we all, like, not a rally, no events, no nothing. We literally just kind of took our units out there to go boondocking. And it was the first time I went boondocking. You remember? And Mike came. So
You want to do that again?
Yes,
Yeah,
I've heard so many
absolutely.
people say they want to do it again, and it's worthwhile. It's fun.
So here's what we're gonna do. Let's start a little thread in the.
Yes, Tina. Did Tina ask about Tina? Who asked about Tina?
I don't see that on here.
Oh.
So let's start. If you haven't yet, and you're watching from somewhere else, like our RV Small Talk community page on Facebook, and we'll start like a post in there on what dates work best for people, and we'll try to go
We'll put it out there.
boondocking because I need some more practice.
Yep.
We'll just pick a date and we'll all just show up.
Yeah, and just camp next to each other. Jackie, I can't eat tapioca pudding either. In fact, I'm kind of afraid of it.
Should I put that on? I will. Okay.
I'm kind of scared of it now. Our childhood traumatized us, but only in like the tapioca pudding type of way. So we're good.
I'm not scared.
Anyways.
I'll tapioca pudding all day long.
I got coffee, y'all. I can survive anything, even these two.
It's only noon.
Sounds like a dare.
That's 12.
Right? You ready, Clint?
It's on.
Hopefully it's 12:30 now. We're moving forward. So glad you guys joined us. It's always good to see you pop up every Friday.
Yeah.
It's true.
Let's do it next Friday, okay?
Next Friday, here, noon. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.